Good morning, children. Welcome to English Literature class. Today we are going to revise story The Worth of a Skill from Edward's English Trail. Children, we have already done this chapter earlier. Today we are going to revise this chapter. By the end of this video, you will be able to express the story in your own words. Along with that, meanings of difficult words and phrases. Also, you will be able to answer all the related questions. Let's begin today's class. Before we read the story, let's discuss exercise time to start. So children, open your book at page number 55. Think for a moment and say, what special skills do you possess? When did you realize that you possess the skills? What do you do to improve the skills you have? The skills you possess could be anything. Playing a game, sport, it can be drawing, painting, singing, dancing, swimming, or even talking. These are some of the examples of skills which a person can possess. Let's move to the first question, that is, what special skills do you possess? So children, you can write here, I possess the skill of acting and singing. When did you realize that you possess the skills? You must tell the time when you realized the skill. For example, you can say, I realized that I possess the skill of acting and singing during our school special assembly when my teacher encouraged me to sing and to act in a skit. Let's proceed to another question. What do you do to improve the skills you have? When you have a skill, you must practice to improve it. For example, if you are a good singer, you can improve your skill of singing by joining training classes, or if you are a good actor, you can improve your skill of acting by getting training from a professional or by participating in various acting competitions regularly. So these are some of the ways in which you can polish your skill. Now you can write here, in order to polish my acting and singing skills, I have joined training classes and I participate in singing and acting competitions regularly. In these ways, I polish my skills. Children, when we possess some skill, it helps to make a distinct mark for ourselves in the society. These skills also become a way of earning a livelihood for some people. The worth of skill is also a story about a boy whose skill opened up a world of opportunity for him. Before we read the chapter, I'll give you a brief summary of the story. Let's begin. The Worth of a Skill by Manoj T. Thomas is a story of a young boy, Lawrence, who was an excellent swimmer. He wished to represent his district in swimming competition to get a chance to attend special sports schools run by government, earn a scholarship, and even hope for a government job later on. But while making his way to the stadium, he had to jump into the sea to save someone's life. He got late to reach the stadium and was denied another chance. He returned home disappointed. But the fortune favored him when the next day a well-dressed from the sports selection committee came to his home and gave him a chance to try and qualify for the district swim. Lawrence swam take other competitors because the selection committee had come to know that he had got late because he was saving someone from drowning. He was honored for his bravery. He revealed that he went to save the drowning boy because he had realized that if he could not swim to save the life of a young boy, his reputation as the fastest 100-meter swimmer in the district would be meaningless. Now, before we start reading, let's revise the meanings of difficult words and phrases of page number 55. Let's revise meanings of difficult words. The first word is terrors. Meaning is very great fear. Urgency. The quality of being very important and needing attention immediately. Stadium. A large structure where people can sit and watch sport. Break. A piece of good luck. Prowess. Skill or expertise in a particular activity or field. Let's revise phrases. The first one is किनारे की ओर, towards the shore. Number 2, उसके शरीर से पानी सुखाया, evaporated the water off his body. Number 3, लगभग आधे घंटे में, in about half an hour. उसके जीवन में सबसे बड़ा सुअवसर, the biggest break in his life. Number 5, क्रीड़ांगन के लिए प्रस्थान किया, started out for the stadium. Let's start reading. Lawrence allowed the waves to lift him up and carry him towards the shore. The sea held no terrors for him as he calmly swam back the rest of the distance to the land. He ran home happily as the sea breeze evaporated the water off his body. The name of boy was Lawrence, and he was in the sea. How was Lawrence feeling and why? Lawrence was feeling calm because he had no terrors for the sea. The sea held no terrors for Lawrence because he was a very good swimmer and swam back the rest of the distance to the land from the sea. Children, Lawrence ran home happily as his clothes as well as his body was dried up by the sea breeze. Let's proceed to the next stanza. A sense of urgency shook him. He did not have a watch or a clock at his home. He knew there was not much time left for the swimming competitions to begin. The competition itself did not worry him, as he had been swimming all his life, but he had to reach the newly constructed stadium in about half an hour. He had been there before, and he knew that if he started now, he would be able to reach there just in time. There was no watch or clock at Lawrence's home because he was very poor. Children, why do you think that there was a sense of urgency? A sense of urgency shook Lawrence because he wanted to participate in the swimming competition and there was not much time left for the swimming competition to begin. Undoubtedly, he was not worried for the swimming competition because he was a very good swimmer. The competition was going to be held in a newly constructed stadium. Children, why was Lawrence in a hurry to reach the stadium? Here Lawrence was in a hurry to reach the stadium because there was not much time left for the swimming competition to begin. If he started now, he would reach there in time for the competition. I hope children you have understood the story till here now. Okay, let's proceed further. Lawrence knew that it would be the biggest break in his life. If he got the chance to represent his district in swimming, there could be a way off his present poverty. He had not been to school and felt that he was too old to start now. even though he was only 13. Winning the swimming competition would be the biggest break in Lawrence's life. Lawrence was keen to participate in the swimming competition because if he got the chance to represent his district in swimming, there could be a way out of his present poverty. Here, children, we also get an idea that Lawrence belonged to a poor family and a swimming competition could give him a chance to come out of his poverty. How old was Lawrence? Lawrence was 13 years old and had never gone to school. Here the lines, "he felt that he was too old to start now," tells us that he wanted to go to school. Look at just a minute question. Do you think Lawrence was right in thinking that it was too late for him to study anymore? No, Lawrence was not right in thinking that it was too late for him to study anymore because it is never too late to learn anything. He knew that if he won the swimming contest, he would have the chance to attend special sports schools run by government, earn a scholarship, and even hope for a government job later. Everything depended on his winning the swimming championship. He knew that he would not have many serious challengers. On the seafront, his swimming prowess was legendary. He had the rare gift of swimming fast as well as swimming over long distances. If Lawrence won the competition, he would have the chance to attend special sports school run by government, earn a scholarship, and even hope for a government job later on. His skill of swimming could help him in winning competition and making his life better. Children, how did Lawrence know that he would not have many serious challengers? Lawrence knew that he would not have many serious challengers as on the seafront his swimming prowess was legendary. Children, Lawrence was such a good swimmer that the other swimmers in the competition did not frighten him. Also, we have read that he had a gift of swimming fast as well as swimming over long distances, but right now he wanted to participate in 100-meter swimming event. Presently, he was focusing on 100-meter swim. He would consider taking up very short distance as well as long distance swimming later on. He reached home, wiped himself with a towel and started out for the stadium. Children, which event was Lawrence focusing on presently? Yes, presently Lawrence was focusing on 100-meter swim. On reaching home, he wiped himself with a towel and started out for the stadium. Children, I hope the story till page number 55 is clear to all of you. Let's begin from page number 56 now. Before we start reading, let's revise word meanings and phrases. The first word is
developed,
built. Ensure, to make sure that something happens. Pebbles, smooth round stones. Distinct, clear, easily seen or heard. Hillock, a small hill. Frantically, with extreme fear or anxiety. Indicating, showing or saying something in an indirect way. Next word is
probably,
meaning is maybe or perhaps. Indecision, the state of being unable to decide. Inconsolably, incapable of being comforted. Advancing, moving forward, sheer, utter, complete, desperate, hopeless, afloat, floating in water, dragged, pulled with difficulty. Children, keep in mind, if the word is being asked in the past form, you have to give answer in a past only. And if the word is being asked in a continuous form, you have to write answer in continuous form. For example, dragged, pulled with difficulty, and here sobbing, continuous form. So we'll give answer in continuous form, that is crying. Again, embracing, hugging. Exhausted, past form, very tired. Bout, period or time. Exertion, physical or mental effort. Drained, empty out. Appointment, meeting or engagement. The first one is अपने विकल्पों की तुलना की. Balanced his options. अपनी शर्ट उतारी. Took off his shirt. उसकी ऊर्जा को खाली कर दिया. Drained off his energy. He was in a hurry to reach the stadium. If he took the recently developed road, he would take more time to reach. Hence, he turned towards the old road along the coast. This would also ensure that he would get fresh sea breeze all along the way. Children, there were two ways to reach the stadium. One was recently developed road and the other one was the old road along the coast. Which road did Lawrence choose? Yes, Lawrence chose old road along the coast. Because if he took the recently developed road, he would take more time to reach the stadium. Also, he would get sea breeze. He wished he had a watch with him. There was no way of knowing whether he was on time or not. He cursed himself for staying in the sea for so long. He should have left earlier for the stadium, but he loved the sea too much. It was not possible for him to come out of the sea very easily. Lawrence wished he had a watch with him, because without it, he had no way of knowing whether he was on time or not. He also cursed himself for staying in the sea for so long, because it delayed his reaching the stadium. The line, "It was not possible for him to come out of the sea very easily." This line tells us how much Lawrence loved swimming. His feet stuck into the sand and the smooth round pebbles felt hot on his feet as he started running the rest of the way to reach the indoor stadium. These lines tell us that he was so poor that he could not afford shoes, and his feet stuck into the sand and the pebbles felt hot on his feet. Suddenly he heard a voice. For a moment he thought that it was the water which had got into his ears, which was making the sound. He listened more carefully and then he heard the sound again. It seemed to be the distinct voice of a woman crying somewhere. What sound did Lawrence hear and where was it coming from? Children, Lawrence heard the distinct voice of a woman crying somewhere. The voice was coming from somewhere near the sea. A woman who had lost her son somewhere in the sea made the sound. For a moment, Lawrence thought that the sea water in his ear was making that sound. He crossed a hillock and looked towards the sea. There indeed was a woman. The moment she saw him, she began shouting and waving her hands frantically, indicating that someone was lost at sea. Lawrence crossed the hillock and looked towards the sea. The moment the woman saw Lawrence, she began shouting and waving her hands frantically and excitedly, indicating that someone was drowning in the sea. Here, lost at sea means drowning in the sea. The woman wanted Lawrence to find her son who was lost at sea. For a moment, Lawrence balanced his option. He did not have much time left to go to the stadium and needed to hurry if he was to be in time for the swimming competition. On the other hand, his skill was probably he needed to help someone. Here we are talking about options. Lawrence had two options with him, either to go to the stadium because of the swimming competition, or he could save the drowning boy with the help of his swimming skill. Lawrence did not have much time left to go to the stadium and needed to hurry if he was to be in time for the swimming competition. On the other hand, his skill was needed to help someone. After a second's indecision, he ran towards the sea. Lawrence reached the women in a few seconds. My son, he is lost," cried the woman inconsolably. She could not say anything more. She pointed out towards the open sea. Now, what did the women say? The woman could not say anything more because she was crying bitterly as her son was drowning. She wanted Lawrence to save her son's life. My son, he is lost." Who said these words to whom? The women said these words to Lawrence. Lawrence took off his shirt as he ran on into the advancing waves. He allowed the sea water to take him with it. Then he began to search for the boy. It was by sheer luck that Lawrence found the boy. The sea had taken the boy deeper, and Lawrence could see desperate waving in the distance. The boy apparently knew swimming, but probably was not used to swimming in the sea. Lawrence could make out the desperate movements the boy was making to stay afloat. What did Lawrence do? Lawrence took out his shirt and jumped into the open sea. He started to look for the boy. Sheer luck means luckily he found the boy. Now, what had happened to the boy? The boy apparently knew swimming, but he was not accustomed to swim in the sea. In spite of knowing how to swim, he was drowning, and the sea had taken him deeper. Luckily, Lawrence was able to save the drowning boy. Lawrence began to swim towards the boy. It seems to be a very long time before he reached the boy, who was struggling against the sea. He helped the boy swim as he dragged him back towards the land. Soon after they reached the shore, the boy ran to his mother, who was sobbing and crying and embracing the boy. Lawrence saved the boy finally and helped him swim as he dragged him back towards the land. As soon as they reached the shore, the boy ran to his mother and hugged her who was sobbing and crying bitterly. Lawrence was, however, exhausted and sat down for a minute to regain his breath. The brief bout of exertion had drained off his energy. Soon he realized that he had to keep his appointment at the stadium. He ran towards the stadium. Children, why was Lawrence exhausted and tired? Lawrence was exhausted and tired because he had spent a lot of energy in swimming and saving the drowning boy. After saving the boy, Lawrence sat down for a minute to take some rest, but soon he realized that he had to reach the stadium, so he started running towards the stadium. So that's all for today's class, children. Your homework is to read and revise story thoroughly till read and plan meanings of difficult words of page number 57 and 58. Thank you.